Oh, welcome to the Redmen TV. I'm joined by Freddie from the Ugly Inside to preview the big game in the Premier League for Liverpool against Southampton at the weekend. First and foremost, Freddie, I've watched a lot of Southampton Match of the Day, but I've not really seen them. I've not seen any 90 minutes of them. How have they been performing under Mark Hughes this season?
Progressive, I'd say. First 5 games, it's been a solid start, but Match of the Day doesn't tell the entire story, to be honest. First game against Burnley, progressive in the second half. The home match against Leicester, progressive in the first half. And same again for sort of Everton the week before that too. It was a really sort of controlling game for us at Selhurst Park a few weeks ago, and for the most part, for the first sort of 50 minutes or so on Monday night, then we controlled the football match. But it's a similar story that we've had over the past sort of 18 months or so. Once we go ahead and once once they put us under pressure, it seems like our mentality is weak, and I think we've lost the most amount of points in winning positions.
Wow, that's not something that you want to be doing, is it? I think, thinking about Southampton and the games that we've had over the years, I think, we've struggled the last few years. Obviously, we beat you last season and that, but this Southampton side, when they've decided to defend deep against us, we have struggled to break them down over the last few years. Is that something that you think Southampton will employ again, that tactic, on Saturday?
Well, Anfield's always a tough place to go, isn't it? We got absolutely schooled last time. We went up to Anfield last year around November time. I remember being a cold day in November and a lesson from Mo Salah. But the two previous managers, and especially Pellegrino and Klopp, well, their approach was defensive football. To a degree, you could say Mark Hughes is a bit more expressive and experienced English Premier League manager. I think we might see much the same. I think we're going up to Anfield with not too much expectations. If we manage to steal a point or even score a goal at Anfield, then we'll be all right. I think we'll take that and take the belief moving forward. And that's ultimately what Saints need, is belief to move forward and ultimately sort of comfortably stay up.
What do you think? What type of formation are we expecting to see Southampton play in this game?
So I do expect us to defend deep. Recently, we were playing a 4-4-2 with Danny Ings as the pivot, as the main sort of target. But obviously, he on loan this season will miss the 2 games this year. He's been a revelation for us, Danny Ings, and it'd be unfortunate for him not to play at Anfield. I do expect perhaps Shane Long to start once again. I mean, he has a return of like 2 goals in 50 games. It's atrocious. But what he does is win fouls and free kicks high up the pitch and kind of stretches the defence. He's got an awful touch. He had a wonderful chance on Monday night to round the goalkeeper and it just skewed off his left foot and into the stand. But Shane Long, I think he might start. Having said that, we may even try and approach Stuart Armstrong into the game and blood him into this. We haven't seen too much from him in the Premier League. He played in the League Cup game against Brighton, and maybe even consider Stephen Davis. And ultimately, that's what we've been missing as well over the past year or so. We haven't had a leader on the pitch, and perhaps Stephen Davis could be useful to use that utility at Anfield on Saturday.
Okay, and I think, obviously Liverpool are known for scoring goals. We've been a bit more miserly at the back so far this season. What is it that you fear from this Liverpool side?
I think it's obvious. The front three for me, Salah and Mane, sort of the roles have been reversed somewhat this year. Mane's scoring the goals, but we know all about him. Of course, scored loads of goals for us as well. Mo Salah has gone off the pace a little bit. Maybe hasn't got into top gear just yet. Hopefully, he doesn't do it on Saturday. Of course, Virgil, has absolutely shored up your defence and took all the qualities that we knew he would take there. And I think you've only considered 2 goals, and it's going to be extremely tough for us to even put one in the net on Saturday.
If there's a weakness that this Southampton side have, I know you mentioned a couple of them briefly before, is there a style of play that they particularly struggle against? Maybe something that Liverpool do?
Yeah, so as I touched on just a moment ago, I mean, it's once we go ahead and then the teams put pressure on us, pressure hard at the pitch is where probably our weakness is, and it's a mentality that the team cannot put the game to bed. We were time wasting with 10 minutes to go at home against Brighton. You could say that we should time waste against the top 6 sides, but teams that get like Brighton and Burnley were time wasting. So I think if you put Saints under a bit of pressure, our confidence will crumble. And Jurgen Klopp is known for the high gen pressing, and I think we'll have a tough task in putting a game or even taking the game to Liverpool.
It is something that, obviously Liverpool are known for, that gegenpress, the counter pressing is something that Klopp likes to employ. But in games against Southampton and in general in games against teams mid-table and below, anyone outside the top six, we don't tend to employ that because we're given the ball a lot of the time and we're told, basically the opposition says, play through us. See if you can break us down when we come with two banks and stuff. It's something that Southampton have employed really well against us in the past. So it would be surprising to me if Southampton came at us and gave us the opportunity, to gegenpress. Is there a weakness at fullback that we might exploit, or have the centre halves been off the boil?
Yeah, big time. Cedric Suarez is a liability in the air. He's about 5'1". And he's always the last man on the far post. He so many times, countless times on fingers and toes over the last 2-3 years since he's been at the club, you can count how many times he was beaten on the far post by a tall, commanding centre forward. I don't understand why he's always the last man when we've got a 6'7" giant now in Yannick Vestergaard who's replaced Virgil van Dijk. Perhaps that's our weakness as well. But I think the biggest weakness and obstacle that we will have is the mentality to even go up to Anfield and try and take the game to the Reds. Does
it fill you with a little bit of confidence that Liverpool have had two big games in the last sort of few days? First of all going away to Tottenham Hotspur, then having Neymar's PSG side to Anfield. Do you think for you it may be one of the better times to play Liverpool?
No time's a good place to Liverpool at the moment. You're scintillating form. I think you're obviously up there with sort of tips to win the league this year, but you can't take anything for granted in the Premier League. Perhaps we could steal a result, and I'll be absolutely delighted with that. But no time is good to play Liverpool. You've got the strength and depth to do so. We were trying to take a little positive in Firmino's injury that we didn't see coming at the weekend. But he popped up and scored a winner for the PSG game. So I think Firmino, you can't take him for granted either.
That's so funny. Okay, if Danny Ings isn't going to be available because he's on loan for a year, who is going to start up top for Southampton? Is it just that it's going to be Shane Long and it's going to be him on his own, or are we going to see Gabbiadini feature at all?
Yes, I think Shane Long may start up top, but I really hope to see Gabbiadini give a chance. He's not had too much game time. We love him. I think he's a bit of a cult figure. Obviously, kept us up last season, scored a couple of goals in the League Cup final when he started his career. Well, came to Saints a year and a half ago, really. But I wouldn't put it past Charlie Austin starting, perhaps coming off around the hour mark, and Charlie Austin and Shane Long up top. But what I would like, actually, is give Sam Gallagher a chance. Perhaps it'd be a bit of a baptism of fire to throw him in the deep end at Anfield. But he offers something different up top. He's about 6 foot tall. He's got a bit of pace to him. He's physical. He's strong. Roughs up defenders, and we saw a bit of that example at Brighton, albeit in the League Cup a week or so ago.
Who is this Sam Gallagher? Is he a young kid? Is he someone that's come through the ranks? I've never heard of him, mate.
So he's a big centre forward. He went away to Blackburn and Birmingham 2 years in a row to the Championship sides. Played a sort of cameo at MK Dons. His last two appearances were 4.5 years apart. So the game that he played on the Tuesday week ago at Brighton, the last time he played for Saints was under Pochettino. So he's a young lad that's come through, but not really been given enough chance to break into the first team. I want to see more of him this season, to be honest.
Oh, fair enough. And what about score prediction for the weekend?
I'll be delighted if we steal a point, to be honest. A 0-0, 1-1. Even if we score at Anfield, just take a little souvenir home. But you can't see too much past a home win, to be honest.
Cool. Okay, Freddie, listen, thanks very much. And don't forget to check out the preview that I've done with Freddie on the Ugly Inside. Freddie will be at the game getting fan reactions, of course. So if you like his content, give it a sub. If you want to know more about Southampton and everything that's going on at that club, really hard-working guy is Freddie. Always innovating on the channel as well, not just keeping it the same, but always moving in the right direction. So go over there and give him a subscribe and like his videos and stuff. Freddie, thanks again for joining me on the show, mate.
No problem, all the best, and congrats on 300,000.
Thank you very much, mate. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the Redmen TV on YouTube.